We have concluding statements, and I should say that there was a lottery draw that was conducted before our session here on stage so that you could all have your concluding statements. They were meant to be 90 seconds. I don't know if we've got 90 seconds. Do we have 90 seconds for each individual for their concluding statements still? I hope we do. Okay, so let's start. The draw was won, first speaker, Rebecca. So let's go with you, Rebecca.
Thank you. Well, I have to say that I am running because I care, because I think we can be better, because I believe in the principles and in the charter of the UN, because I think I am the best candidate, and because the story of my family have taught me what war takes away from you and what peace can give you back. So my life and the story of my life has gone through these three pillars of the UN. I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe on peace, on development, and in human rights. That's the story of my family. That's the story of myself. I've been in government. I've been the coordinator of the social and economic sectors in my country. I know what is to take decisions under pressure in very difficult circumstances with a lot of financial constraints. So I want to do that for the UN. I think I can really drive the UN to be better, to be relevant, to refocus, to be successful, and that I can bridge between countries and people to reach the consensus and the trust needed for that to happen. So
thank you.
Skepticism is okay. Fatalism is not acceptable. We have to have hope in the future, and I think that I can do that.
Great concluding statement. Next up, Maria.
Well, I am running for the position of Secretary General because I believe in the UN. I think the UN continues to be the best institutional creation of humankind. It is a human-made organization, so I'm a strong believer that manifest destiny for the UN not working, we cannot accept that. I also believe in a phrase that a Nobel laureate said, the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. It's because I don't want to be indifferent. I think I can contribute to make the UN better, more efficient, leaner, more service-oriented, and to really touch and transform the lives of people on the ground. The leader that the UN needs is a Renaissance leader. It's a person that understands development, that has worked on the peace and security field, that is committed to the human rights agenda. My entire career shows that. The ability to bring the peace and security pillar together with the development and together with the human rights pillar. Being a minister of defense, being a foreign minister, being a minister of culture and natural heritage, ambassador in New York, ambassador in Geneva, president of the UN General Assembly, I think provides the credentials for me to serve the organization, to make it better, and to make it more connected to the people it serves.
Well said. Thank you, Maria. Carolyn.
Thank you. 80 years after the formation of the UN and the opportunity to reflect, I believe that the UN has delivered and continues to deliver. The Charter remains as relevant as it was in 1945 as the standard for stability and for hope for future generations. But we have big challenges, and the UN must change, the UN must adapt. And we should be able to do this together. And so I believe that this Jeju Forum should reignite our march for peace and prosperity, and that together we must remake a UN that learns from its past, that is fit for today, and that is ready for the future. And I'm running because I believe that my experience as a Minister of Foreign Affairs, a Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, an international civil servant with the UN, and now a permanent representative walking the halls of the UN and in the negotiation room for the last 5.5 years, that I can run this race together with you, and we could make a better UN. Thank you.
Carolyn. And Macky SALL.
Thank you very much. I can say after my skills, I'm not running for a career. I'm running for impact. As a former head of state, 12 years in my country, leading also AU, and working individually with all leaders of the G20 and getting the position of Africa as a permanent member of G20 shows me it is possible to rebuild trust with UN. Et donc, je voudrais dire que mon engagement en tant qu'homme politique, en tant que leader, qui a beaucoup participé dans la médiation des conflits en Afrique de l'Ouest et en Afrique de façon générale, m'amène à dire que je peux encore servir le monde à partir de l'Organisation des Nations Unies pour en faire un organisme plus fort, une ONU des nations plus forte, plus résiliente, mais également réformée grâce à la confiance qu'il faut reconstruire au sein des États membres, en particulier entre les membres permanents où il faut réinstaurer un dialogue de confiance afin que les questions du monde soient traitées de façon convenable. Je crois que c'est la participation et la contribution que je peux apporter pour une organisation des Nations Unies modernisée.
Merci. And concluding remarks, finally, Rafael.
Thank you very much. This election or selection, in my opinion, is arguably one of the most consequential ones we have had in the history of the United Nations. Everything we have discussed, everything we have heard today only confirm that in this world fragmented, as the title of the conference says, with the perhaps for the first time situation where the UN in itself is being questioned, the institution is being put between brackets, its future is in doubt, then the choice of the person who is going to be leading this organization over the next few years becomes a dramatic choice for all of us. It's not because the UN is there and there is a charter and the charter is a timeless piece for all of us that the UN is going to be called to fulfill its role. It's when the UN can add value, is when the UN can solve problems that we are going to see that. And I've seen that personally in the battlefields of the war, protecting a nuclear power plant from a disaster. We have seen it now when we are trying to solve one of the most intractable conflicts around the nuclear program of a country in the Middle East.
Thank you.
The multilateral institution is needed at that time. So a moment of choice, and let's make the right decision.
And the time is up. Wow, we have heard from the 5 candidates who are here with us here in Jeju. It was always going to be a struggle to keep you all on time. I have to say we're only 10 minutes over, but thank you all and best of luck to all 6 of the candidates who are vying for this very crucial role as the next Secretary General of the United Nations. As we heard from Ban Ki-moon himself, he doesn't envy you, but I'm sure you'll all do a spectacular job. Once again, a big round of applause to our candidates, please.